the Ad Hoc Remodeling Committee final meeting. Before we go anywhere else, we have to have a proof of notice, and I think all of the members got a proof, and then it was posted as it should be, and proof of quorum, and we do have a quorum of our members here present. Before we go any further, I'd also like to thank the people on the committee for the work they did. There was an awful lot of work, effort, traveling, looking at different things to come up with ideas. Some you may think are good, some you may think are bad. But our charge from the board was to create ideas on more efficient, effective ways that this building could accommodate the membership of Heritage Pines. We've made every attempt to do that without getting into architecture, without redesigning things, without establishing all the final issues that would be involved in a building program. These are ideas, concept ideas, that we're going to turn to the board, and then at their discretion, they will decide to do as they wish. This afternoon, we're going to have the 3 subcommittee chairmen give a short presentation. They can use a little pointer. I apologize. This isn't quite as clear as I thought it was going to be, but it's about as clear as mud, so I'll leave it up, and when after the meeting is over, if you'd like to come up and take a look at it, we do have a little pointer, so as the subcommittee chairmen talk, they can kind of point out the areas that they're talking about and give you an idea. And we'll let the presentations be made, and then at the end, I will solicit any questions or great deal you guys did or whatever you want to do. But we'll do that right at the end. Okay, first of all, Tom Piper.
First things first, yeah, it's an important one, come on. The first forget the food. Yeah.
First things first is always the bar. And where's the pointer at now? Is that magic thing?
Yeah.
Oh, this is good. Where? That one?
Yeah, right here.
Oh.
Okay.
There it is.
No, that's the wrong one.
That's it.
I could go first.
There's the bar right there.
I know I need that. All right, what we did is, before we play with that thing anymore, I'd like to introduce the people that were on the committee, just as far as the bar goes. And that was myself, Carol Parker, Carol Parker. Carol isn't here, is she?
No, she had surgery.
She has surgery, okay. Timmy Drawbridge, and Timmy's back up, I think, went to New Jersey for the summer. Of course, Janice is here and Art is here. I'll preface everything by letting you know that as a committee, we spent a considerable amount of time reviewing present bar operation by observing, speaking with Nettie, Lauren, Wayne, and our food and beverage manager, and Gary Wind, our facilities manager. We also made the trip to Heritage Springs and Timber Pines to look at their bar and lounge areas. I know some of you have been to Timber Pines and have looked at that, and they talked about, you know, the beautiful horseshoe and everything. We took a good look at it and had a chance to talk to a couple of the people that were working there. And all they would say to us was, never ask us. It was all done by somebody else and people that were working there. The whole committee, our whole little subcommittee, everybody agreed that if you're gonna try and do something that you've never done, you know, why not ask the people, you know, that actually work in it and see what the problems are, if there are any problems. So we also went to places like the Bonefish, Applebee's, Outback, and those were what Wayne had suggested to us, if you really want to look at things, look at the chain restaurants. They've done it all. They've done it there right. So we thought, well, that's a pretty good idea. And then most of the people on the committee had never been to a bar. So we tossed it around and
I know one that is.
we tossed it around, and one Sunday, I was thinking, as I was headed to Publix, I told my wife, I said, let's take a detour, we'll go to Ruby Tuesdays. And I had my measuring tape with me, and we went in and measured. And their layout was very similar to ours. They had the kitchen doors, one on one end, one on the other. The same wall and the same length. And it turned out square footage wise, it was basically the same thing that we were looking at. And so we sort of took that as a concept to put into this and to draw it out. The reasons that we want to move the bar, I guess primary reason was that the present bar was built without direct gravity flow of drainage of the sewer to the sewer. We were told it had a 250-gallon sump pump under the floor, and then it also did not have any power backup in case something goes wrong. So if you get a flood or something in there and the power goes out, where's the water going to go? Not efficient for the working staff, especially with a full dining room and a bar. The back bar of the liquor sitting in the sunlight and not having a way to lock it up when the bar is closed. You may say, well, why do you want to lock up the liquor when the bar is closed? And actually, I think the answer is pretty obvious. But also, when we were down at Heritage Springs, one of the things that they did have was they had the see-through, they had sort of like a gate that was lockable. Slide was slid into the sides, during the day. And the night when they locked it up, it all came together and everything could be stored there. The other thing that we don't have in here is we have people that were going to the kitchen to pick up a cake and roll the cake back through the dining room to try and put it in the bar. We thought it was important, if we could, to somehow or another get that direct, number one, the drainage, so we could put a floor drain in the bar. To also make sure that there was connections, instead of having the keg rolled out and up underneath, that we could bring our lines and everything in, which we were concerned a little bit about the length, but that is with the distributors. The distributors come out, we find, and they clean those lines on a regular weekly basis when they come through. So that's for all your draft beer. So we thought, well, that way we could put the bar against the kitchen wall. All the drainage and everything's there. And that's what I call the east wall of the kitchen. And then by doing that, we would come off the corner over here if you were to walk out the pack room. And you go to the first little alcove that goes in if you go past the kitchen door. The wall would go across and tie into the other wall over on the other side, which I'll show you up here. The rest of it was that it was too noisy and it disturbs members trying to enjoy a peaceful dinner. That was probably one of the primary things that people said. It was way too noisy. And not enough sit down for sitting in groups. Especially golfers when they come in a group and they end up out in the back room or wherever, or the restaurant just to do it. Okay, our recommendations. Now if I can make this. Here is the location of the new bar. You see that?
Sure.
And you can all see where the old bar was. Not shaded. Just trying to hold it steady. It's like a TV remote. Okay.
You should be used.
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
You should do it. But the other thing is, with this bar located here, we're taking the wall, moving it out to the outside, so that where it goes out next to the railing, those two columns would come out, showing them in here as being there. But there would be a beam going all the way across, and your door could go out. In order to do that, Timmy Drawbridge brought up the fact that, we need to move the ramp that comes up from the pool. So we looked at that, and that could be done, you know, with approximately a 3 to 6 foot design at the bottom that makes the turn and comes up to the upper deck, which should be outside the back of the kitchen door, or the kitchen down here, which should actually make it more convenient. And we had 2 different drawings of the bar either being in an L shape or full length. And what we decided to do is bring it full length. And that way we would have, because Wayne suggested, you know, the main thing that we have to be concerned about there too is people coming up in the pool and having a way to get their drinks. So you can't make them, you know, no bathing suits or anything are allowed, so you gotta still go with a window type thing. As you'll see, if you're looking there at the bar, you'll see that that walkway comes right over to it. The bar itself, when you're all said and done, will seat approximately, it's 31 foot long, north to south, allowing for the kitchen serving and area for the pool drink service. So it's 31 foot long. We were told that, also asked by Wayne, he'd like a double door in here at the kitchen. And we were also told by the architect that the reason it was designed that way, people were supposed to go out that way and in that way to the kitchen. Well, we wanted to be able to, if people are sitting in the bar and in that restaurant area, to be served directly from there without coming out and going around. And so that's the reason we left that door to the kitchen. And that would come right into that area, which will seat 37 people in the bar, you know, not including the 10 bar stools. So that gives you the staff the opportunity to set it up in there any way they want to. There's plenty of room for televisions across the wall if they want to do their NFL Sunday ticket. By moving the ramp, it's going to give us a total of 1,000 and I believe it's 1,081 square feet total. Right now you have 480 square feet in the present bar. So you can see how much difference it makes. The wall itself, going all the way across, you'd have an entrance on this end and another entrance, of course, where the bar is now. It's going to become part of the dining room. But you still have an entrance over there where they come in, and of course from the outside. We looked at, when we talk about moving the ramp, we spent a lot of time looking at ADA regulations and determined that when it was originally built, this is what we thought, is that it was built for compliance instead of necessity, or necessity and compliance, I guess you could call it. Because the ramp comes in over here and you've got a ramp there. There was no ramp from the gateway to get up the steps to come into that level. You had to do it from back here. So by moving our ramp over just a little bit and bringing it up that outside, it allowed us to move that bar out, and that gains us room. All the windows would be floored about 2 feet off the floor going up. So you have a complete view going out over number, I believe it's number 10, and you'll be able to see number 18. And you have a wood wall structure over in the old bar, or the new bar, the bar as it is now. On that outside, those windows would probably also go down. So you'd have maybe not that far, but at least you would have a view when you walk in the front door to see on through. It would be very nice. The other main reason was we tried to stay within the parameters of our present sprinkling system. And we did that because that's the reason this wall has to go to the top of the ceiling out here. That'd be a high wall for decoration or planters or something above it. But if we had put a drop ceiling, lowered the ceiling in the bar, then that would have been considered attic space. Now we have a problem. So people will say, well, why do you, why is that wall so high? Why isn't the ceiling so high? It's for that. Plus, you've already got the tectum on the ceiling, which is the best sound barrier there is. So with that, the last thing we like to say is that, in our opinion, the kitchen is the center point of the clubhouse amenities. Everything revolves around the kitchen. Your restaurant, your bar, pool service, everything. People want something to eat. Well, it also goes around the restaurant. And we believe that before any money is appropriated for the bar renovation, that certain design efficiencies in the kitchen that were issues discovered during our research need to be addressed. There were things that were just not done right. And so I think that that whole thing is the centerpiece, and you have to look at it. Say, okay, let's start someplace here before we build something, you have to tear it out again. Let's do it right the first time. So with that, pass it on.
Good.
Hi, Jay. Glad you can make it.
I see Jay made it.
Yeah, Jay.
That's your, all right. Okay, next you'll hear from Jay, and he'll be talking about the restaurant. And I'll give you a tutorial on the.
Yeah, you don't need that, Jay. Everybody knows where they're at when you say it.
If you want to use it, if you want to use it. Okay, you can do that. Very good. Okay. That's fine.
Need help?
Be careful, Jay.
Yeah. Shouldn't be up there.
Walk slowly.
It's on.
All right. One thing we talked about, which is pretty necessary, is to get this, the in and out for the dining room, okay? Secondly, we want to have this entrance right here coming down through, and that would be, I would like to see a covered canvas canopy over that, with something signage on the top of it saying, the Performing Arts Center and the lounge. Bring the golfers and the guys who want to go, or the ladies who want to go just to the bar to have a drink. Come along this way, over here. Okay, move this table right there. Come into the bar. Okay. We need to have a sliding door here, a sliding door here. Okay. I don't think we should have a window service. I think if somebody wants to come up in a bathing suit, they ought to sit down and wave, and server will come over to grab them whatever they like for lunch.
Keep them outside.
No.
Yeah, no. Wet, tracking, slip
Just keep
fall,
going,
yeah,
Jay.
too much
Just
light
keep
over.
going.
All right, well, carrying on. Okay.
He was
So-
prepared for that.
We've got an entrance here, we've got an entrance here, this could be more like a slider. I hope you can hear me okay. And I'd be moving this door down this way. If you've got a door over here, you can eliminate the need for moving the wheelchair ramp. People that are coming up, golfers, whatnot, come from the old pro shop, which they do now, just come along the walkway, and come on into the bar through here. Eliminate, go walking through the restaurant altogether. That's what we're trying to do, is separate the bar and the restaurant. So it eliminates that. You can come along this way, come in through this door to get into the bar. I think those are the highlights of what I'm not all that fussy about this. I would like to have a little T put on the end of this so that the servers can come out here, this door, let your food, your bar stuff like that, and your server would come over and serve this area from there.
About the restaurant, Jake.
Restaurant is fine. These doors over here would just be opening. I guess this is a hostess station over here, that's fine. I did not know if there would be a need to have an opening over here, ADA requirement for being able to get out. This exit here. walls all the way around. I got some pictures of anybody who wants to see, and they're kind of similar to what they had at Heritage Springs over there, which were nice, 4 feet high, attractive, maybe a little etched glass on the top. And you've got good seating. Originally, I wanted to keep the fireplace right where it is and put some couches and chairs and coffee tables and such over there to make it an entertaining area for coming in and having a cocktail before dinner, but I guess that got overruled quickly.
Where's the fireplace gonna go?
Really?
Is that a two-sided fireplace so you can see it from the bar too?
No,
No,
No.
just one side.
one side. Can't do that.
I would guess that was going to be a gas stove, electric,
Electric.
electric.
Between the two doors.
Tom, you were saying, where's Tom? You were saying, when we were talking about dropping ceilings in there, is that the volume of water, which is why we couldn't put a T on the sprinkling system?
Yeah, you can't add on to it.
Okay. That's a certainty?
Yes.
All right, thank you. So, other than that, I think the idea is pretty good. Questions?
Not now, not now.
Not now.
Later.
Later. No questions.
Okay, Victor is muted if needed.
There she is. Okay, last but not least, Francie will talk about the PAC room and the ideas that her subcommittee had.
Hi, I'm Francie Margie Collins, and I would like to thank my co-ad hoc subcommittee members. That is Phil Colquin, Martha Tapia, Charles Nutella, and Ed Dovnik. Can you hear me?
Keep the mic.
My husband's saying, hold the mic, he sings, he's a singer. Okay. Yeah, so what we did as a committee initially is we said, we're going to pretend that we're newcomers, that we want to buy a residence here in Heritage Pines. We want to look at it objectively. So we started in the lobby. We thought, okay, that's kind of nice. We weren't too partial to the rears of the people at the bar, but not a big deal. And then we went to the east end of the building first. Now, at the east end of the building, you know, is the billiards room. It's the craft room. It's the computer room. We looked at it, we said, wow, this is nice. This has a lot of nice activities for the residents here. That's really great. Okay, then we came forward again and we said, all right, now we're into the social arena. We're at the bar, the dining room, and then we had to walk through the dining room with people eating to get to the Performing Arts Center. That was a little uncomfortable. People are eating, they're conversing, we're not exactly dressed that nicely. And we come to the Performing Arts Center. Now, we looked around and said, gee, this is really a lovely room. However, our eyes caught the back. If you could all turn around and look at what's at the back of our Performing Arts Center. We have chairs, we have a popcorn machine, we have a portable bar, we have ping pong tables. We've got ping pong tables back there. We've got tables. This looked like a storage room.
Yep.
That was not very appealing to us. All right, so then we looked behind the stage. We went up there. This is a lovely, lovely stage. Curtain might need a change of color, but we went up behind the stage, and sure enough, we thought to ourselves, wait a minute, people perform here. We have acts come in here. There's storage back there. A little dangerous, a little questionable as to our ability to let people perform here without someone getting hurt. Then we walked over there, and I don't know if you know, but there's a lovely dressing room back there, but there's only one dressing room because the room back there is used for storage. That could be another dressing room through those doors. All right, those were the things we noticed, and we said otherwise it's really a lovely room. Then we proceeded to the gym and looked around, thought it could be a bit bigger. Then we ventured into the pro shop. In size alone of that pro shop, it appeared to be an afterthought by the developer. We then talked about how disjointed the clubhouse appears. You have activities, you have a social arena, then you have physical activities again. So it just seemed a little off balance, and you have your pool, which again is a physical area. It was obvious to us. Oh, but then at our next meeting, we asked to have a printout of all the activities that take place in our Performing Arts Center. This is a full year of activities if anyone would like to see it. Everything happens in our Performing Arts Center. Line dancing, ping pong, tai chi, walk aerobics, yoga, ballroom dancing. Do you get the picture?
Yeah.
Okay, so PAC stands for Performing Arts Center, not Physical Activities Center. That was a conclusion that we came to. Now, more often than not, when people are doing physical activities here in the morning, a number of which take some quiet time, like yoga, it's difficult enough getting up without making noise, but it's yoga and tai chi. But at the same time, you have your golfers clip-clopping through to go to the pro shop. It's disturbing. It shouldn't be. Okay, so you have the picture of what we saw. In addition, the late morning and early afternoon or large events, when being held in the Performing Arts Center, all those activities are canceled. So more often than not, your Tai Chi, your yoga, your walk aerobics, well today we did line dancing and ping pong. Have a couple of people here, that's always fun, we get along well. But the activities are canceled more often than not because of what's going on or the bigger event that has to take place here. So this is the conclusion that we came to. Very simply, I'm going to switch. I think I have to press this arrow to the right. Okay. All right. So this is what we thought. We said if we could take the gym, which is an amenity, the gym, and move it to another structure, not create a new amenity, but move it to another structure of one level structure that was about 2,500, I can't get my point to the point, but 25, right outside the pool area. Now, if you go to the back of our clubhouse and you go to the back of the pool, it is beautiful back there. You have the gazebo, you have the fountain, you have hole number something or other. 18. Hole number 18. Aesthetically, it's beautiful. Now, we're not talking about a huge structure. We're talking about a one-level structure that would not have a ceiling this high, so it would not require the air conditioning that we need every time we do a physical activity in here, and we raise it and we lower it and we raise it and we lower it. You would be able to put your gym in there and have a separating wall that was soundproof, that would open up when you wanted to, or close it to do your line dancing, your ball dancing, excuse me, your Tai Chi, the yoga, segment it out the way it's done in here with, and in addition, you wouldn't need the maintenance people in here constantly resetting up for the different activities in the Performing Arts Center. I keep on saying that because you know where I'm coming from. This should be a more sophisticated area where we could have our large events, where we might even have the opportunity to have outside groups come in and get the needed money that we need to help our own dues and everything else that goes on. So that would be the gym and the additional activities facility, one level, no high ceiling. Then right next to it, the pro shop. We would move the pro shop out of there, put it right next to this facility. The pro shop would be enlarged by about, I think, 400 square feet, which would give it a nice presence. They would change the 15th hole, no, the 8th, what?
The first to the 10th.
They would change the first hole to the
10th.
10th hole, and it would visually be beautiful. You'd have a little awning, you'd have some vending machines, maybe a couple of little tables for people that have finished golfing. Okay, so now we have all of our activities at the east end of the building, along with the pool, and aesthetically really, really pretty. So you go, okay, now what are we going to do with this? Well, guess what? That pro shop could be storage. All that stuff you see back there will be stored in that pro shop. No problem. What are we going to do with the gym? Well, if you open the gym up, you would have a lovely room where you could put a permanent bar, not to be used on a daily basis, but when you have your activities in this room, when you have your social events, instead of going to an ugly, forgive me, portable bar in the back, you would be able to go into that room. You could have little tables in there, you could close it off for another meeting. It would be a wonderful place when you have outside people coming in. They could gather, they could have their little cocktail and then move into this area. So that's our thought. We did not price it out, but again, we are not talking about a huge structure. We're just looking to move it, make this whole community a little more upgraded, a little more uplifted, and assist the residents in getting what they really should have. Thank you.
I'm just going to step back. One thing that, Tom Piper must have screwed this up. One thing that we
Goes automatically to the bar.
had to mention was that we are also proposing enclosing this entry. It's all covered and it has sprinkling in it. And initially, we talked about just creating what I call an airlock, where when these doors open, you don't get the rush of hot air in, or in the winter, the rush of cold air in. For the people that